My name is Jeanette and I'm from Bella Rose Needleworks, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is Flosstube number 5 for me, and today is October 23rd, 2025, it's Thursday. It's been a minute since I did my last video, and I am so sorry it's been so long. When I had first started doing my floss tubes, I had full intention of doing them every 2 weeks, and I have not been able to stay consistent with that. Life is just crazy busy right now, and I just can't seem to get my act together. So anyway, where have I been? September was a month, and let me tell you, yeah, it's been a bit just kind of getting things back on track and feeling more put together. I don't know. We went camping at the very end of August, and right in there was Marketplace, which is the online shopping. It's kind of like Nashville Needlework Market, but it's all virtual. It's all online. And so it's a trade show for cross-stitch shops, and it's all done online. And so it's a lot of fun because you just sit at your computer and shop all day. It's great. Anyway, so I had a full intention of coming back from our trip and doing a video about Marketplace and showing all the new things. Well, my mother-in-law ended up having hip surgery like the day after we got back from our camping trip. So the very beginning of September. And it went fine. Everything was great. She ended up coming here and staying for a little bit, just so she could get back on her feet. And so we helped her out there for a little while. And in the middle of all of that, I got really sick. I still don't know exactly what happened, but it knocked me on my butt for almost a month. A lot of stomach pain, and I won't go into all the gory details, but anyways, much better now. I still have no idea exactly what it was, but it really it threw off my whole schedule. So I lost the entire month of September. I got backed up on finishes and projects for customers, and I didn't do my normal floss tubes. And so now it being, wow, what are we? Almost the end of October. I can't believe it. Halloween's in a week, and we are almost at the end of October, and I'm just now finally catching up. So anyway, if any of you had a summer like mine, my heart goes out to you, because I know what it's like when you just get completely derailed, and it takes a minute to get back up on track. But anyways, so here we are again. Now that I went on my Where Have I Been rant. Welcome back if you have been watching my videos before. And welcome if you're new to my floss tubes. Hopefully I didn't just throw you for a whole loop and you're like, who's this crazy lady? Can't seem to get her act together. So anyways, I'm here to talk about my cross stitch. I've got a handful of projects that I've been working on. I've got a couple of FFOs. Actually, I have a couple of finishes and then one FFO. I've got some plans. I've got a couple giveaways, and I'll talk to you about a few of my favorite things at the very end. And I'm just so glad all of you are here. So yeah, grab a beverage, grab your stitching, hang out with me for a little bit, and we're gonna just get right on into it. So hopefully everything has been going well for all of you, and I'm just thrilled that you spend your afternoons hanging out with me, and yeah, I'm just so grateful. So anyway, with all that being said, like I said, I went camping at the end of August. We go every year. We go up to the mountains. It's our favorite place to go, and we usually spend about a week at the end of August, beginning of September, right around Labor Day. And it's just wonderful to get away, be up in the mountains, fresh air, and just away from the chaos and insanity of everything. And so it was really nice. With all the craziness in September, I almost wish that our vacation had been after, so that I could have, like, you know, kind of put all the craziness behind me. And, but anyway, it was nice to come back relaxed and jump into all the chaos and insanity, you know, with a little bit of a reprieve there. So I did a little bit of stitching while I was gone, and I'll show you some of those things. I worked a little bit on stitching in September, but there wasn't a lot. With caring for my mother-in-law and doctor's appointments and all of that, I was in urgent care one of the days there, and it's been kind of squirrely. And so my cross-stitch schedule has not been up to par. And so I'm hoping that next month we'll be able to catch up a little bit. So you can see, look, I got my shelves up finally. It's a little bit decorated for Halloween. And I was super excited to get all that stuff put up. And now with it being Halloween is next week, all that's going to come down. And in November, it's going to be probably either fall or Christmas. I don't know. When do you guys decorate for Christmas? For those of you who celebrate Christmas, when do you decorate? So my family's crazy and they want to put the tree up like 2 months ago. They're super funny about Christmas and we love it. We love to decorate. We kind of go all out and it's just Christmas chaos everywhere and it's fun and we just love it. But yeah, it's been getting earlier and earlier with the decorations as the years have gone on. And so usually the 1st of November, the Christmas tree goes up. We don't put out all of the Christmas decorations, but the tree goes up and I start putting out winter things and stuff. So we get prepped a little early for Christmas. Yeah, we're kind of crazy. But this year, my family desperately wanted to start decorating. And I said, you guys, it's too early. And I love fall. I love fall. I like pumpkins and anything, you know, the leaves and all of the garland and all of that kind of stuff. I love decorating for fall. And so we compromised this year and I let them put up the Christmas tree. Don't judge, okay? I realize it's October, okay? We put up the Christmas tree and I filled it full of autumn picks. And so I went to Hobby Lobby and I raided their pick section with all of these little kind of like these little things. And I just stuck a whole bunch of those in the tree. And so it's basically a pine tree that has fall decorations in it. So it looks, it's actually really pretty. There's white lights on the tree. And so it's really just it doesn't look like a Christmas tree per se, even though it's a Christmas tree shape. I just filled it full of pumpkins and straw and I'll try to get a picture for you guys to see. It's kind of silly, but anyways, it's very pretty and it feels autumny and it gives a little ambiance in the evening and we turn the tree on and it just kind of glows and it's kind of nice. So next month in December and November, when we finally start decorating for Christmas, all those will come out and then we'll, you know, do the official decorating. But anyway, but for now it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. It was different and I enjoyed being able to make it look a little bit more seasonal and not Christmas per se. So anyway, as I ramble on and on and on. So what have I been stitching? A lot of autumn things. I've got a couple of whips that I just kind of pick out a little bit here and there. I took quite a few projects with me camping and I had intended to work on one project every day. I did not have success doing that. It's funny because when we camp, as fun and relaxing as it is, I guess it's kind of like going on a cross-stitch retreat. I don't always get done as much as I hope. We're doing stuff with the family and we play games and, you know, do family stuff. So we're not always, it's not always downtime. And I don't like sitting in the trailer. I figure we're up in the mountains. Let's enjoy the, you know, the trees and the birds and all of that. So I like to sit outside. And a couple of the days, it was really hot. And so I spent a little bit of time in the trailer just because it was so hot outside. But I tried really hard to enjoy as much time as possible outside and working on my stitching. So, but definitely didn't get done as much as I had hoped. But anyway, I think I had talked about this one of the last couple of videos, and I was working on Liberty by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I had talked about changing the house to, I really wanted to bring more blue. And as pretty as that gold house is, I just really wanted a blue house. And so if you can believe it, I found a blue that I really liked, and I stitched a blue house. So here's my Liberty, and I'm getting pretty close to a finish. And I think the blue house looks, I'm really happy with the color. And I kind of hunted around, and I was looking through what I was already stitching to see if I had a color that kind of worked. And the blue in the original stitch was kind of dark for the house, and so I picked a different color. And I can, okay, so I ended up picking Weeks Dye Works Blue Suede. And it was just one that I had in my stash. I pulled it out of a project that I was already working on, and the color seemed good. And I think it turned out really pretty. So I love it. I'm really happy with the blue. So I enjoyed stitching the house. It didn't take very long, just, but the blue, I think, really complemented it nicely. And so I was looking in the pattern, trying to see if there's another place that I could use that blue. But I decided I'm just gonna have the one blue house and leave it at that. So anyway, I was really happy with that progress. And yeah, hopefully I can get this done by next year. I should be able to for the 250th. And hopefully that one will get framed and put up before the next holiday. So, okay, so the next one that I was working on our trip is I had tried really hard. This is another one of my plans that I need to get back on track with. So I'm working on stitching my way through this book by Heartstring Samplery, and it's called Sunday Stitches, and they're all hymns. So she had over the years released a whole bunch of these hymns, and they were all single stitches, or single patterns, I should say. And a couple of years ago, she put them all into one book. So you could have all 14 of her hymns in one pattern book. And so I think it's 14. Hold on, let me see here. Okay, so I had to go back and count, but it's 15. She has 15 total in here, which is awesome. The book is fantastic, and I love it. So stitching my way through the book, the first one is Amazing Grace. And so I started there, and I just decided to use the called for colors. There's only 3 in here, which is awesome. And I'm stitching it on, it's called Heartland by Picture This Plus. And hold on, I'm gonna put it on my board here. Okay, so I got the words done. And it says, "'Twas grace hath brought me safe thus far," is as far as I got. So, but while we were on our trip, I finished that row of words, and I've got I think I have one more row of words. One more row of words to finish on there. So anyway, but this is really pretty. My goal with these was to work on a faith stitch every Sunday. So I was doing faith in stitches, or Sunday stitches, and working on some kind of faith stitch every Sunday. But the last couple of months has been just crazy, and the weekends are always busy, and it's usually catch up from everything else that you didn't do during the week and all of that. And so I just kind of got out of it, but hopefully going forward I'll be a little bit more consistent. So anyway, so here's another one of the projects that I worked on while we were on our camping trip. And this is Autumn is as Joyful. And this is by Lila's Studio. And I started this last year with the intent that I would work on it consistently enough to have it done by fall of this year. And I didn't even get close, so. So, yeah, but I did make some progress while we were on our trip. And it's coming along. I tried really hard to get over to this far corner. I was, you know, from corner to corner, because this is the start of it and then it ends over here. But there's one more little section I just didn't get to. But I started that little squirrel and worked on that other little the next piece of the Quaker. It's actually really, really nice to stitch. So I'm stitching it on 36 count. And if I can find my, hold on. Oh, here. This is Corn Silk, 36 count Corn Silk by Weeks Dye Works. And I'm doing it with one strand of DMC. It's all DMC. And I'm doing one strand over two. It's the only project that I'm working on right now that is one strand. Oftentimes, if I'm stitching on 36, I still use two strands because I like the coverage. But with this one, I decided to kind of give it that more of a vintagey look, I guess, with just the one strand. And so I think it's nice. It's coming along. That squirrel there, that's by himself, is the top of the acorn. And so what I really want to do is work on that giant acorn. So I got him in there, and hopefully next time I stitch, I'll get started on that acorn. But it's a beast. It's deceptive, to be honest. If you look at the chart, this is the squirrel that I did. And so you think, oh yeah, you know, I can get in there. But oh my word, look at how big this acorn is. It's huge. So I got a ways to go, but that's okay. I'm really enjoying it. And it was nice to work on while we were on our trip and up in the mountains. It just felt kind of like the right project. So anyway, let's see. Obviously lots of fall. I've got lots of fall. So the next one is, I started this one last year, and this is Harvest Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And I worked on this just barely while we were there. I had just started it when we got there. So I got this little part of the tree and this owl. And again, it was another one of those projects that I had hoped that would be done by fall, but I didn't. And I guess that's okay. But anyway, but yeah, started right here. I have the tree and the owl on this little house. I didn't get very far, but it's really a nice, it's really, really a nice project to work on. I'm really enjoying it. And so this one is stitched on, 32 count Everything Else by Mystic Fabrics. And I just thought the color was really autumny. It just kind of warm, and I liked it. So I thought that was good. So, all right, there's that one. Next. Oh, and these are all, I'm using all the called for colors. I usually put them in a little bag, keep them all together. So, okay. The next one I've just pulled out recently. So those were the ones that I worked on our trip while we were camping. And this past week, I was trying really hard to get back into my Halloween stitching and frantically trying to get projects done. Obviously, as you can see, I don't have a whole lot up here. It's been a minute. I don't do a whole lot of Halloween stitching per se. I do more fall stitching than Halloween. But I do have a handful that I like to put out every year. I don't do as much Halloween decor as I do fall decor, but I do have a couple little things that I put out for fun and yeah, to make it feel seasonal. But then as soon as Halloween is over, all that stuff comes down. so they don't get to spend a lot of time out. So, but anyway, I'm working on this one here. This is an old favorite by Plum Street, Halloween Delivery. And I started this a couple of years ago with some friends. And it got put away and I kind of forgot about it. And I was going through some of my stash last week, I think. And I found it in there. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to pull this out and start working on it again. Anyway, so here's where I'm at. I've got the carriage outlined and I got the wheels done and working towards, I really wanted to start, whoops, as my fabric falls there. I want to start filling in that carriage. It's full of pumpkins and it's got all this really cool garland on the top here. And then of course you've got your little skeleton guy or your little ghosty guy that's pulling the carriage there with the crow. And I just really thought it was a lot of fun. So I pulled that one out and started working on that one again. And this one is stitched on 36 count Dusty Cottage by Bestitch Me. And I just thought it was a really cool, I don't know, just had a really cool Halloween vibe. It's kind of smoky and I just liked the color. I thought it was good. So, and this is one of the ones I said, typically when I stitch 36 count, I usually do over 2 over 2. And so this is one of those I'm doing 2 over 2. I don't know if you can actually see, it's kind of hard to see in there, but I liked the coverage and especially with the black, I just thought it looked, I liked filling it in a little tighter with the extra, strand of floss in there. So I did that one with 2 strands instead of just the one like I did on the other stitch. So anyway, okay, so there's those. Let's see. I had 2 new starts in addition to the Harvest Tiny Town that I did while we were on our trip. And one of them goes along with an FFO that I did last year. And so I'll show you that one after. But the other one that I started on was, hold on a second here. This one here, Halloween Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And because if any of you know me at all, you know I'm totally hooked on stitching big. I love these Primrose Cottage patterns stitched big on larger counts of fabric. And so this is another one of my Floba stitches with the pearl cotton. And so here's how far I've gotten. And this one has been so much fun and I'm kind of flying through it. It's only 4 colors and I had to do a conversion because her original stitch was done in Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works. And so I couldn't find pearl cotton in the right colors. And so I did my own, I basically did my own conversion. There's only, like I said, there's only 4 colors. And so I'll show you the colors that I used. So for the black, I'm using 844. It's just kind of like a dark, ooh, that is very sparkly. I found these really cool big bobbins at Hobby Lobby. And they're perfect for the pearl cotton because I bobbinate. I don't use the floss tags. I'm old school. And so I bobbinate everything. And the pearl cotton skeins are too big. There's too much on there to fit on a regular plastic bobbin. There's a lot on here. And so I found these at Hobby Lobby and they're a little wild and wacky. They feel kind of neon, like making all those colors. Anyways, I just thought they were perfect. And so I just wrap them on there and I add the number so I know which one it is. But they work great. I thought they were awesome. And I wish I could find them in different colors. So far I've only been able to find these wacky rainbowy ones. And then I found another set. I think it was like honeybees or something like that. But I wanted them to be a little bit more generic. So I'm still on the hunt. But I thought these worked great and they are perfect for the pearl cotton because it fits the entire big skein. But so these are the colors that I used for my guy here. So the orange I'm using, let's see, what number is this? 921. So there's 921. And then the white part is 3865. And then the 844 is that kind of a charcoal gray. And then this one here, 783. So those are the ones I picked. Oops, sorry guys. There we go. Those are the ones I picked for that. And it's really fun. So like I said before, I know you guys, I'm a broken record when it comes to the Floba or just stitching with the pearl cotton. It's just so different from traditional stitching with just regular DMC floss or Weeks Dye Works. And so it's really nice to kind of mix up your mediums. I just like stitching with different things. And when I discovered the pearl cottons, I was looking for different excuses to use it just because it's so nice to work with. And the Floba is great because it's a Lugana, so it's an even weave. And I like how it feels. It's really soft. And so it stitches really nice. And I just really enjoyed working on it. So I've been on the hunt for other, ways to use it. Now, part of what got me on this kick was last year when Kathy Haberman released her first of her big awesome produce. So she had the first one, which was the strawberry. It was called There's a Hair in My Garden. And I showed that on one of my previous videos, but that was stitched on a 20 count linen. And Fabrics by Stephanie is who did that linen. And I think that's kind of what got me started. And then I was just looking for other excuses. And then a friend of mine, Annie from Dirty Annie's, she had a couple of projects that she had stitched on the Floba. I'd never even heard of it before. And so after I talked to her about it, I was on the search for finding Floba. And in all my years of stitching, I can't believe I'd never heard of Floba, but it's great. It's an 18 count. So it stitches really nice and it's nice and big and it's just a lot of fun. And so I like having different sizes of pieces that I work on. I like having some big stuff. And if you watched one of my previous videos, I did one of the other Quakers. It was the stitching Quaker that I finished as a pillow. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And if I get my act together, maybe by next week I can have this one finished and then I can show it to you guys in the next video. So anyway, so that's that project as I go on and on and on about that. And you guys are probably sick of it. You're like, Jeanette, enough already. So yeah, so there's that one. And then the next one that I will show you goes along with one of my finishes, my FFOs from last year. And so give me just a second and I'm going to grab that so that you can see it. And then I'll show you my next project. So last year I was working on a series by Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's called Sampler of the Month. And I know you guys have seen these before, and they're kind of long and narrow. And I had been chipping away at those stitches for probably a few years. And last year I finally managed to get a few of them FFO'd. And so I've got a few more left to do. I think I've done, I want to say 8 out of the 12, and I just hung up October. And so this is a finish that I did last year. I found this board, and forgive me, you guys, really. I hunted and hunted and hunted for more of these. I think I bought this finish or this frame here at Walmart probably 5 or 6 years ago. And it sat and sat and sat forever. And finally I found these, this stitch that I was working on. I'm like, oh my word, I think those would probably fit perfectly in this little frame. And so what I did was and like I said, I apologize, you guys. I'm sure that everyone's going to be on the hunt for these frames because I looked for more and I could not find them. I think I got it at Walmart, but again, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I haven't seen them since. So I apologize, but anyway, it did fit this really nicely. So what I did was I just made this shape here. I traced it out and cut out a piece of cardstock and mounted the stitch on here. And then it attaches with a little piece of Velcro. And then I just stick it in there. There we go. This right here is also attached with, forgive me. There we go. Piece of Velcro. Okay, so originally when I was doing these little flower things here, I had them on there with a magnet and they were too heavy. And so I'd put them on there, and after a couple hours, you'd hear them slide and fall to the floor. And I got sick of picking it up and sticking it back on there. And so then I just ended up using a piece of Velcro and stuck it to the back of this little finish and just pushed it on there. And so it stays a lot better. It stays a lot better. Anyway, this was a really fun finish. I love putting them out. I think I have to still stitch January, February, April, and May, I think. And then this year I started working on November because it's almost November. And so I thought I would try and fly through to see if I could get November finished. Let's see if you can see that in there. It's so cute. This one's got all these cute little, there's like a turkey in here. I don't even know if you guys can see that. It wants to focus on me and not on the, there we go. That's a little better. Don't look at me. So anyway, so I pulled my November one out to see if maybe I could get it finished in time to hang next month. I don't know if I'm going to be successful in my quest, but it's worth a try, right? So I pulled it out and I got it started. Forgive the wrinkles, because I've been kind of dragging it around with me. But I got the house done and I got the November done, and I started working on the trees and the corn and the pumpkins. I have quite a ways to go before it's finished. So I don't know if I'll get it done by the beginning of the month, but I'm certainly going to give it my best. The one change I did do, there we go, is the house is done in, oops, you don't need to see my fingernails. The house is actually stitched in a really light green. So if you have worked on this series at all, she uses the same color scheme for all 12 designs. And so depending upon which one you're stitching, they're using almost all the same colors. And so the house was originally stitched in this margarita, frozen margarita, which was too light for me. And so I switched it out for, I think it's Little Sprout. And I think I used up the last of my Little Sprout, which could be why I stopped stitching this one. So I just wanted to darken the house up a little bit. And so I stitched it dark in that Little Sprout because I thought it worked a little bit better than the light green. Just for my color scheme in my house and stuff, I thought the light green worked a little bit better. And so I did make that one change, but all the other colors are exactly the same. And so, so here's the October one again. And so you could see it uses all the same colors. The browns and oranges and greens are all, they're all the same, which is kind of nice because once you've got your colors, you can stitch most of them with just a couple skeins of each color, and which is great. So if you haven't stitched these or haven't seen them before, it's a really, really fun series and I've really been enjoying it. So anyway, so that's an older FFO. Again, that was one that I did last year. I started last year. And so we're slowly chipping away. I don't know how I managed to stitch them all out of order. I think initially when I had started stitching them was probably in like May or June, because the first one I finished was August. And I probably had intended stitching a couple months ahead so that I'd have them finished each consecutive month. and you know how life happens, and I got all off my schedule, and it sat for quite a while, probably a good year. I set it aside and was working on other things like we always do, and got distracted, and then decided that it was time to make it into a finish, and figured if I FFO'd the whole project that maybe it would motivate me to finish the rest. So I've gotten better. So maybe with my next video, I'll pull out all the ones that I've actually done, and you can see the ones I've finished. I think, like I said, I think I have eight of them done, almost 9. And then I have January, February, April, and May, I think. So we're getting close. So hopefully I can get those done maybe by next year. I don't know. Best laid plans, right? So anyway, all right. So there's that one. And then I have 2 finishes that I've done. They're not completely FFO'd yet, but they were stitches that I did over the last couple of months that are finished and almost ready for FFO. And those are in progress, but let me grab those and I'll be right back. Okay, so earlier this year, probably early part of summer, I started working on the Hello Summer stitch by Plum Street Samplers. And there's 4 in this series. She's got summer, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I've had these in my stash for quite a number of years and have wanted to work on them for quite a while. So finally, and I've had them all kitted up. I had all the floss and everything. And so I finally decided it was time to bite the bullet and just get them done. And they stitch up actually pleasantly quickly. Is that even a thing? Pleasantly quickly? Faster than I expected. They look, I don't know, like they would take a little bit longer, but I loved stitching these. And so I stitched through Hello Summer and Hello Fall just over the last couple of months. And I had intended to have them both up and ready for the season, but I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to FFO them. And so I mounted them on boards just so that they were finished, and then figured I would find something later. And so here's the Hello Summer, and it's just, I just did, you know, the lace stitching on the back, and so I just mounted them on a board. And that's Hello Summer, and here's Hello Fall. And so they're all ready to go. And they stitched up so nice. I really enjoyed working on both of these. And am excited. In fact, in my plans is to work on Hello Winter. That's next on my list is Hello Winter. But anyway, so as I'm working on these, I'm trying to figure out a way to mount them so that I can swap them out each month. And this one I used Lady Dot Creates mini palms just for simple edging. And I think it's mossy. I think this color is mossy. This, the mini palms here for the green. And then I'm waiting on the blue one to come. I had a mini palm in a blue because I really wanted to pull out this blue in the flag, and it was too bright. It was more of a cobalt blue, and it didn't work. And so I put that one aside and decided I would order a different color of mini palms, and it hasn't come yet. And so for the life of me, I don't even remember what color I ordered. So hopefully that one works better. But it definitely needs to be more of a dusty blue. But these were so nice to stitch. They stitched up really quick. And like I said, I've got Hello Winter is in my pile of future plans. But what I discovered while I was working on these projects is this piece here. This is called Rustic Rhythm, and it's a Chantel's 141 framing piece. And I had this originally for, oh gosh, I think it was originally designed for a Teresa Kogut pattern. This is the larger of the two. She's got 2 different sizes of this Rustic Rhythm. This is the large, and then I think the small one was done for a Teresa Kogut pattern. And I want to say it was one of her like Time to Sew or Time to Reap, or one of those that she had released at market. And so I'd gotten both sizes, the large and the small. And I had this one in my stash, and I pulled it out, and wouldn't you know it, it fits perfectly in here. So I got it painted, and I didn't have time to get it fully finished, but I think, look at that. What do you think? I think it's gonna work. I think it'll work really good. And then I can take them off each month and then put the next one on. And I think it's gonna work. And then if I put a little bling up here at the top that I can take off and change out, I think it'll work. So I got it painted, and realized that after, when I had originally started painting this, I had fully intended on finishing the sides here and having the whole thing just creamy white color. And then as I'm looking at it, I decided I really liked the contrast of the raw edge of the wood showing. And I thought it really complemented the browns in the actual stitch. So I think what I might do, because this isn't fully finished yet, it's still in pieces. I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to resand my edges and pull out the raw edge again, so that shows on the finished piece. And like, I don't even have it fully glued. It's not even 100% done. But anyway, I think I'm going to like that better. I like the raw edge look. I like the dark. And I think it'll pull in, really nice. It pulls those browns in and looks a little bit more rustic. And so I'm excited about it. So hopefully by maybe by December, I'll have it completely done, and maybe I'll have the winter one finished and I can show an FFO on there. But at least for now, I've got 2 of them done. And hold on while I put this down. I'm excited about those. They were really fun. It's been a really fun series to stitch, and I'm excited to get the last 2 of them done. So hello summer and hello fall. And hopefully, like I said, by the next time, or hopefully by December, I should have that mostly put together, and then I can get the winter one done. So that's it for my finishes and my FFOs. I've got some other stuff that's kind of in the works, but like I said, I got so derailed in September that it's been probably a good 6 weeks of just recuperating and trying to get back on track. I've had a lot of other things going on, with family, and, life happens. And so I haven't been nearly as productive as I normally am, or as I would like to be anyway. And so anyway, we're still working on stuff, and we got lots of plans, hopefully within the next few weeks, as the holiday season starts coming closer. I usually get really ramped up for Christmas stitching, and so that's part of what's in my plans for going forward. Is usually by the 1st of November, I am all about Christmas stitching, and I just want to stitch Christmas and winter only. And so I've got some plans for November and December. And I thought what could be kind of fun is maybe one of my next videos, I'll do like a stash dive, and I'll just do all Christmas and winter stitches or something like that. I thought that could be kind of fun. I do have a lot of Christmas and winter stitching. I've probably got 30 or 40 projects either in progress or put together in kits that are awaiting their debut. So maybe it'd be kind of fun to go through all of those and surprise myself by exactly how many I have in my stash. So anyway, those are all my stitches. I have a couple of plans that I'm working on for next month, and one of them is, as I know that you guys all saw, Primrose Cottage released 4 more in their Garden Variety series, and so these are their autumn they're autumn ones. And so we've got pumpkins and corn and apples and sunflowers. And these are all so dang cute, you guys. I absolutely love them. So I got hooked on this series last over the summer when she released the first 4 in the series, and I did 3.5. So she had cherries, watermelon, lemons, and limes. And so I got all but the limes finished. The limes are almost done, and I had every intention of having it completely finished and up and ready to go by the end of summer, and things just happened. So anyway, it's there, it's waiting, it'll get finished. But in the meantime, I've been really excited about these. And what I had done with the summer ones is I stitched them on a 20 count Lugana. And so here's, this is it's just a mushroom Lugana. It's 20 count mushroom Lugana. And this one, when I did the summer ones, I just kept its traditional color. This one I actually coffee tea dyed just a little bit. So I don't know if you can see just a little bit of marbling. It just made it a little darker, which I thought was more fallish. And so I kind of liked how that turned out. And I'm going to stitch them with, hold on a second here. My plan is to stitch them with my pearl cottons, because you know me and my pearl cotton. And so this is the color palette. You can kind of see that on there. If I tip it too far, they're going to slide all down. So this is the color palette I picked for all of those yummy, yummy fruits and vegetables and flowers, the garden variety. So I had to do a little bit of sourcing. She stitched these in DMC, but not all, and I know I've said this before, again, me being a broken record, but not all regular DMC floss comes in a pearl cotton. So they don't all, there isn't one of every of the regular DMC colors in a pearl cotton. And so I just kind of pulled colors that were close, that would still fit with the theme, and I would use those. And so once I get going on this, if you guys are interested and you want to see which color conversions I actually did, I'll list those out and share with you guys. So these are the colors. They're so yummy. Look at those yummy fall colors. So I'm excited to get started on that. Hopefully within the next couple of days, I can at least get one of them done. I'd like to, but we'll see, because that's usually, like I said, best laid plans. So the next one, oh, I'm sorry. So that's the end of the garden variety. And like I said, if once I get going, if you're interested in seeing the colors that I used, I'll list them all out for you. I haven't decided exactly if these are gonna work yet. Sometimes I don't know until I start stitching with them. So I'll play around with those and see how they go. Okay, sorry about the noise, guys. I'm sitting here filming and I'm hearing voices in the backyard and all this racket. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Well, I completely forgot that we had our sprinklers. The sprinkler guy came to blow out our sprinklers today. So for those of you who don't live where it gets cold, like down below freezing in the wintertime, you probably have never needed to have your sprinklers blown out. But when we first moved here many, many years ago, we learned from, I think a family member. She's like, oh yeah, have you had your sprinklers blown out yet? I'm like, why, what? We lived in Southern California for so long and never had to do it because it doesn't get that cold down in Southern California. But here in the wintertime, when it gets down below freezing, if you have water in your pipes, it will make your pipes burst. And then in the springtime, when your water comes back on, it makes a huge mess. And so you have to have air blown into your sprinklers to blow all the water out before the water gets turned off in the winter. Otherwise, it's a huge problem. So anyway, so there's voices in the backyard and I'm like, what is going on? And it's the sprinkler guy. So anyway, yeah, back to stitching now because you don't want to hear about my sprinklers. So next on my stitchy to-do list as we get back into focus here is this really beautiful one by Sweet Wing Studio, and it's called Choose Joy. And it says, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." And I have been wanting to stitch this one for quite a while. And I had it almost completely kitted up, but realized I was missing one floss. And there's a silk floss in here that I didn't have in my stash. And so I had to source it. And it's called, I'm trying to, hold on a second here. It's called, the color is called Iris, and it's this really pretty lilac-y color. And it's for all the words in the stitch itself. And it's a Soie d'Alger. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm pretty sure that I'm butchering that terribly. But it's a, like I said, it's this really pretty lilac color. And I tried to source from my stash, and I just couldn't find a color that I liked. And so I just decided to go online and buy a skein of it for this kit. But it's, whoops, if I hold it the right way, here we go. It's for all those words, and it's got to have that pretty lilac color. It's so pretty. And I'm stitching it on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. It's a little blown out in here, but it's kind of like a really light dusty blue color. So I thought that would be really pretty for this. So I'm excited to start that one. And so I've got that one finally all kitted up, and that's on my list of to-dos. And I've got one more. And like I showed you before, I was working on the Hello series by Plum Street Samplers. And so this is Hello Winter. And I've got that one all kitted up. Here's all my floss. So I'm ready to go. But I had to get the other two worked on and finished first. But the winter one's my favorite. And so I forced myself to but I forced myself to stitch summer and fall before I was allowed to start on winter. And so now my struggle is which color of fabric. So I had two options. This first one here is called Rainy Day by Atomic Ranch. And it's kind of a dusty blue. And I thought that one looked kind of wintry. Here, let me pull some of these. You guys need to help me because I don't know which one to do. You guys can help me choose. Okay, so here's this one. There's not that many colors in here, which I was kind of excited about. Okay, so here's this one. If I pull all that apart. Okay, here's this one. This is Rainy Day by Atomic Ranch. So I thought that looked kind of wintry. And then my other option was a new color by Grace Notes Fabrics, and it's called Gandalf. And it's kind of a smoky, I don't know, it's kind of a smoky gray beige color. So I want an excuse to use this new color, but I'm kind of torn. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Blue, gray, brown? I don't know. I like them both, but I'm kind of torn as to which one looks more wintry. Honestly, looking at them here, I'm kind of leaning towards this gray one. The gray blue looks a little bit more wintry to me, but I don't know. You guys tell me. My other thought too is that this lighter color, which is the color of the sheep, might get a little lost if I do it on this Gandalf color. And it's like the whole sheep is that color, and the snowflakes. And so I don't know. I may end up having to go with the Rainy Day because I think that sheep might get lost if I put them on here. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. What is your choice? Gray or brown, or gray or blue? So you guys let me know what you think. They're both great colors, and I'm really excited to start. So I just need to know which way to go. So, but those are my current plans. I have a lot of Christmas stitching in my future. And so, like I said before, usually by the 1st of November, as soon as Halloween's over, I'm all into Christmas stitching. And so my Halloween and fall window of stitching ends up being really small, really small. So unless I start like in the summer, which is typically what I try to do, is do my fall stitching and get started doing that in the summertime, like late August and into September, because once Halloween or once October is here, it's super short, and then it's time for Christmas stitching. So yeah, so those are those plans, and I've got more to show probably next time, but we'll see how far I get with these, and hopefully I'll have some extra stuff to show you guys in the next video. So the last couple things I wanted to share is I recently started a new hashtag on Instagram. And so if you follow me on Instagram or even on Facebook, one of the things that I've noticed over the last few months or so is that I miss out on a lot of people's posts. And especially with the new algorithm that I can't even begin to understand on Instagram, sometimes I won't get posts for days. And I've got posts that'll show up from people that I follow, and it'll be a week or sometimes more since they've posted. And so I miss out on a lot of what people are working on. So I thought I would try something new, and I called it, back up just a little bit. I wanted to know what you stitching. So I started a hashtag, and it's called What You Stitchin' Wednesday. It's kind of silly, I know. And I'll put a little link down here below for you guys to follow if you decide you want to follow. But I thought it could be a fun way for people to follow each other in whatever they're working on. And so every Wednesday, grab something that you're stitching, snap a quick photo, use the hashtag What You Stitchin' Wednesday, and I thought it could be a fun way for us to stay connected with whatever it is that we're working on. So it's kind of silly, I know, but like I said, I miss out on a lot of what people are working on, and I am not always the most consistent with following people and what they're working on. And so I thought this could be a fun and silly little thing that we could share. So anyway, What You Stitchin' Wednesday. You don't have to participate, but if you decide, you're working on something and you're like, ooh, it's Wednesday, snap a picture and use the hashtag, and then we can all kind of follow along with what we're working on for the week. So anyway, so there's that silly thing. And then the next thing that I wanted to share was, it's been a minute since I've done a giveaway. So I figured it was high time that I did one of those, just to thank you all for hanging out with me, for following along with me, for letting me share my stitching with you. And so I thought I would do a couple small little giveaways. I'll do two. And the first one, let's see, each one will have two charts. So I'll do two giveaways with two charts. And the first one, let's see, we'll do this one here. The first chart is going to be this one here by Serenata di Campagna, and it's called Happy Halloween. And in the spirit of Halloween, since Halloween's like a week away, I can't believe it, but it's got these cute little ghosties, and I just thought this was a fun little chart that you guys would enjoy. And then I loved this one by Snowflower Diaries, and it's called We Are Cute and Stabby. And they're these cute, darling little hedgehogs, and they're sitting there with the mushrooms, and I thought it was adorable. So I thought that one was really fun. Okay, so that's giveaway number one. And then giveaway number two is another one by Serenata di Campagna. And this one's Thanksgiving Day. Look at this turkey. I just love that turkey. So that one was really cute. And then I found this one by Snowflower Diaries called Blooming Roses. And I thought this was beautiful and figured you guys would really enjoy this piece here. I just thought it was soft and sweet, and I really liked it. So two giveaways. So one is a Halloween. We'll do one as a Halloween theme, and then the other one will be a Thanksgiving theme. And so if you want to enter the giveaway, comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and make a comment below, but don't say anything about giveaway or free or freebie or anything like that. Avoid using those words in your comments. But share with me something that you love about fall. Fall is one of my favorite seasons, and so I'd love to hear what you like, or maybe you don't like about fall. But yeah, share some comments about fall, and I'll try to, I will select two winners between now and my next video, and I'll announce those in the next video. And again, it's just to thank you guys for hanging out with me, for sharing your time with me. I know time is valuable, and so I'm grateful that you guys decide to share a little bit of your time with me. So anyway, all right, so we got the giveaways. And then the last thing that I wanted to do is at the end of my videos, I try to share a few of my favorite things from my shop. So if you haven't watched my videos before, I own a cross stitch shop. It's online only right now, and it's called Bella Rose Needleworks. And so if you haven't checked us out, we'd love for you to go visit our website and take a look at all the stitchy treasures that we have on there. But if I did a video for every one of my favorite things, it would be a never-ending video. And so I figured it would be kind of fun to just select a handful of things that caught my eye for the week and share those things with you. Maybe get you excited about some stitchy treasures that you hadn't seen or forgot about or whatever. And so I just selected a handful from the shop that I would share, so that this doesn't become an infomercial for Bella Rose Needleworks. Anyway, so I'll just share a couple of things. The first one is back in March at Market, Jeanette Douglas released a new series called Seasons in the Garden. And this was the first one that came out. It's a 4-part series, and each part will include a square, and they'll all connect together. I think on the back here, let's see here. Yep. Okay. So here shows all 4 together, sort of summer, autumn, winter, and spring. And she'll be releasing those in stages. So the first 2 are out already. This one is summer. This one, again, came out at Market. And it came with it. She uses absolutely stunning silks, Dinky Dyes, Gloriana, Splendor silks, and some Mill Hill beads. And so trying to source all of those colors, I tried, was such a task and a half for me. And so I discovered that she has these fabulous floss packs already available, and they correspond to each of the designs. So this one's for summer, and I thought you guys would just really enjoy having these floss packs. They come with the beads and all of the floss that you need to stitch the first chart. And then that one's summer. And so here is autumn. Here's the autumn chart. Oh, these colors are just gorgeous. And then here's the floss pack for that one, and beads. And so you guys don't have to go hunting for all of those stunning colors that Jeanette uses in her charts. You've got them all right here. And this is enough to do, like I said, it's enough to do the whole piece there. And then winter is set to release very soon. And so that will be the next in the series, and I'll hopefully grab up some floss packs for that too. So if you guys are interested, come and grab up these floss packs. I only have a few left, and they sold really well. People are like, oh my gosh, they're all there together. And she uses, she's got beautiful specialty stitches in here with all these gorgeous silks. This finish will be just stunning when it's done. So, so we've got those. Those were a few of my favorite things. And then the next one is also back in March. Kathy Haberman released a new series called Big Awesome Produce. And the first one featured this strawberry called There's a Hare in My Garden. So I'm sure all of you have seen it. And I stitched this one up. So this was the first in the series, and I couldn't resist. And this was such a fun stitch. It's stitched on 20 count chocolate milk by Fabrics by Stephanie. And we just got new fabric in. So if you guys are looking to grab up some more chocolate milk for your stitches, we just got our order in for that. So again, this was the first one in the series. So the next one in the series is called Murder in the Garden. So this is the newest one, and it's this fabulous pumpkin. And I can't wait to start stitching. Like I said, we just got our fabric in, so I'll be hopefully starting on that one really soon. But we have floss packs available. So if you guys are interested in grabbing up kits for that, we have floss. We've got the mini pins. So if you're looking to add the mini pins, we've got those available. This one has there's cute little mini pins in that one for the hair in my garden. And so we have this one too. So here's the mini pin pack for that, in case you missed out on it last time. Don't focus on my face. There you go. And we have floss packs for those too. We just restocked these. So if you're looking to, if you missed out on this one, here's the floss packs for those, pin packs for those. And then there were a few of you that showed an interest in not stitching on the 20 count linen, but wanted to stitch it regular. So I think Kathy, in one of her videos, showed a sample of her, the new one, Murder in My Garden, or Murder in the Garden, stitched on a 32 count. Hold on a second, let me grab it here. 32 count, and this is called Butterscotch Cookies. So if you guys decide that you don't want to stitch it giant and you want to stitch it regular, we picked up some of this in 32 count, this gorgeous color, and we made floss packs in DMC. So if you decide that you don't want to stitch it big with the pearl cotton, we made floss packs for the DMC, and you can stitch it on this or whatever you've got in your stash. And we thought you guys would really enjoy that nice variety of stuff. So if you want to stitch it big, you want to stitch it small, we've got both kits available in the shop. Let's see, what's another thing? I make project bags, in case you didn't know. And so I have, we're running a sale right now on our website, and it's 20% off of all of Halloween things from now until October 31st. And so if you haven't jumped on the website, make sure you do and take advantage of the sale. But we also have some of our project bags on sale. And so I thought I would share a couple of those. And these are fabric front. I use really nice quality fabrics, and then they're fully lined inside. And these are big enough to fit a big pattern. So 8.5 by 11 will fit easily in here with all of your floss and everything that you need to stitch. And so we've got this one. This is one of our Halloween ones. And let's see, here's this one. This one was cool. The skeletons, and here's the back. I love this fabric. And then again, they're fully lined inside. So, yeah, so they're nice and sewn on the inside. And then on each of them, I add a fun little charm. So this one's got a spider charm. And then one more. Here's this little guy. I loved this fabric. Look at these kitties. Kitties and jack-o'-lanterns. I couldn't resist. I thought that was so cute. Here's the charm. And I found a little black kitty cat. And so there's the charm on that. And again, fully lined inside. So it keeps all of your stuff clean and safe. And I use nice zippers. And so if you're looking to restock on project bags, we've got a few of those available in the shop too. So those are a few of my favorite things. Again, if I talked about everything that was my favorite, we'd be here for eternity. So, so I just thought I'd share a few things. And there's lots more on the website. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email us. And I think that's about all I've got to share for this time. But if you've lasted this long, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for sharing your time with me. I absolutely love it. And I'm getting better. My videos aren't quite as awkward. At least I don't think they are. You'll have to tell me if I'm still super awkward. I don't know. But I've been enjoying them a lot, and I love sharing it with you. I wish it didn't take so long in between videos, so I'm going to try really hard to be more consistent with regular posts and videos and stuff. So, but thanks for hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you guys again next time, and have a great holiday. Bye.